Good morning everyone, you're with Tom from Ludicrous Feed, and this is the MG4 electric you are looking at right now. It is Saturday and we are doing a road trip from Sydney to Canberra and return just to test the range and efficiency of the MG4. This is the 51 kilowatt hour rear-wheel drive LFP battery with 350 kilometers of range. And I have been charging this car overnight to make sure we have 100% charge. Okay, so there we are, 100% state of charge, 350 kilometers, and that is with the AC running. Okay, so let's unplug the charger, unlock. And yes, the MG4 is compatible with my Tesla Gen 3 wall connector. Let's unplug. Done. Okay, so let's set the trip computer so we've got a good idea of efficiency and how much we traveled. And of course we don't need to reset because it's currently on 0 to start our trip. But if you wanted to reset, you just press this button here for a few seconds and that should reset everything back to 0 for the trip computer. Alright, let's head off on our way. Hey, look what we've got here. We've got Riz from The Driven and Carlo. Hey Riz.
Hey Tom, good to be here, good to be in Sydney. It's a beautiful sunny day.
Oh, it absolutely is. You're very lucky. And we are obviously going to head off on a road trip to Canberra now. And yeah, first up will be Pheasants Nest, Ampol, to check that out. And aim of today is not to get to Canberra as quickly as we can. It's actually to check out some of the charging stops as well. So, and obviously show you some of the features of the MG4. Alright Riz, let's head off.
Time to go.
Let's go. Alright everyone, we are on the freeway, on the Hume Highway or freeway, whatever it's called now, on the way to Pheasants Nest. That's our first stop. The Ampol Pheasants Nest DC charger there. It's quite a good location, quite a good setup, so looking forward to seeing that. On the freeway we've got it on normal driving mode, so we're not compromising. We've got the AC running, and we've got cruise control at the moment, so if Riz can sort of come down here, if you can see the screen there hopefully, there we go. So going 110 kilometers an hour and following the cars ahead on active cruise control or adaptive cruise control. And battery state of charge, 78% currently, 271 kilometers predicted. We've got the trip computer running there, currently going at 16 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So not too bad. Hopefully that number drops as we continue on our trip. Or it might go up even because we're on the freeway, we'll see. And we've got Waze running as well on the center screen, which is what I like. You can see stuff like this, police ahead. And thanks to the viewers who told me how to reduce the volume on Waze, so not so annoying now. Much better volume. Alright everyone, we are almost there at our first stop, which is the Ampol at Pheasants Nest. So there we are. We're about 1.5 kilometers away. And this is where Riz and I are very excited because we're about to check out their DC chargers, which look really good on social media that we've seen so far, but it'd be great to check these out IRL in real life. So let's see how well signed these things are. Can't be too hard to spot. Still no Evie charging sign, it's still that petrol icon, but one day we'll have the Evie charging logo, hey? Not too far away. Okay, so we're coming up now, 300 meters. Should be able to see it soon. There we go. Let's exit. Does that say Ampol Ampcharge is up the top?
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, how does that? So look at that, second building, Ampcharge under Ampol. I like it. Just keep going. Cars on this side. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I can see it. See that canopy there next to the petrol stops there, which is quite a nice looking stop, I must say. But, that's cool, isn't it? Let's go on that side. Can we go this side? Yeah, we can. Okay. Go to this side. Use one of these to top up. Let's type that spot. So I might use this one. I do apologise for the dodgy camera because this is a UK spec car, hasn't passed 80 yards yet in Australia, so the production cars obviously will have the reversing camera. To rely on the sensors. Okay, I think that'll do. Cool. Alright, let's go and top up. Okay, so here we are at the Ampol Ampcharge here at Pheasants Nest, MG4. Let's plug in. So open up the charge port. Let's take out the DC flap there. All right, so let's scan the QR code here. So I might just unplug that. It's pretty heavy cable actually. Ugh. Let's scan the QR code from the app. So from the app, hopefully you can see that, Riz. All right, so let's plug in first. Okay, so we're nestled in there. Charging started successfully. Hopefully. Let's have a look. Clicking noises. So from the app 2. There we go, duration. I think there's probably a display on this side, yes. Here we go. Look at that. So 65% battery state of charge. Amount of energy added, charging time, hypercharging. So charging current, charging power, and charging voltage. So all the stats there you need. Probably different languages too. Select language. Like that. Stick with English. Cool, and then you can stop from there as well. Let's go have a look inside the car to see whether it all correlates. There you go, 66%, 39 kilowatts. So I think that correlates with the screen. Solar panels up the top there. That's pretty cool. And that canopy's also got solar panels too. I think there are 9 spots I saw on the app. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's 6 spots, but I think there are 9 plugs overall. Because I think each unit has got 3 plugs. So you've got 2 CCS2 and then 1 Chatamo. As we have a look at this one here. See that? There's 3 plugs per unit, right? So you've got CCS2 times 2, like that. And then the middle one is, press that one, it's Chatamo, for those who need it. My only feedback is they're really heavy, especially the CCS2 ones, really heavy plugs. And obviously they're blocking the QR code, right? So I think ideally you'd probably want that a little bit further away from the plug so you can kind of scan it while, instead of having to unplug that to scan it. That's okay. I like the fact that they're covered. It's lovely. And then you've got the service center inside there, so we'll go check that out. Looks like a pretty new place, and you've got obviously the petrol stops too next to it. All right, Riz, we'll go inside and check it out, eh? And while we're here, I might as well check out the frunk, or lack thereof, inside the bonnet here. We probably could potentially have a space for a little bit of a storage area. They rearrange a few things, but at the moment, no storage in the front. And it's actually relatively well signed there. See that? Electric vehicle parking only while charging. So that is the correct terminology. And I like how, you see that main sign from the highway we saw earlier? It's got Ampcharge, so yeah, looks like Ampol is very serious about EV charging. Electric vehicle charger, emergency stop push button, and they've got a bin and squeegee, which is great. No air compressor, but just across there you can see you can pump your tyres up if you need to, so not too bad indeed. Alright, so let's stop charging. So on the app it says stop charging. We've done 7.8 kilowatt hours. We'll top up again at Goulburn because I've got free charging thanks to Chargefox from there. So let's press stop charging. Okay, click from the unit here, so I think that's all good. And on the screen there, got some stats. So disconnect plug, 81% state of charge, 8 kilowatt hours charge, 14 minutes. Okay, let's unplug. You got a unlock it from the car. So the car's unlocked, and now, hopefully, it should just slip out. So the car was locked. Something to note. Look how heavy this is. Yes. Really unwieldy. Oh. And then we push it back. Lock there. It's for the cabinet. All right. And then we just cap everything back. See how that's capped for the DC component. And then we shut the door. It's good that there's warning from the car that if your flap is open, you can't actually drive off, or there's a warning on the screen. All right, so we're going to head off to Chargefox Goulburn. It's our next stop. But inside there, it's pretty cool. All nice and new. Enough toilets for everyone. Food outlets. Yeah, it's the future of service centres, so good to have this stop here. All right, let's head off. Check this out here. Animals in the trailer. These poor people. Their tyre got shredded on the freeway. I'm just talking to them. I'll have to fix that before they head off. Okay. To exit this place. Pretty easy. We'll go check out. Just watch out for these cars. Not all sign on the road. Not all marked anyway. I think this is Southbound too. We'll have to go check that out on the way home. But obviously all the stuff is still under construction on the left. Because the road out is a little bit dodgy. Okay, and that's pretty much the Hume Highway or Hume Freeway up ahead, so... Alright, touch base shortly. Alright everyone, we are just approaching Goulburn. Just top up a bit more now. I've actually got less charge than I thought we would, because if we just have a look at the screen here, if we just zoom in there, see that, got 36% with 96 kilometers left, and interestingly, the efficiency, 19.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So yeah, I mean, I thought we'd be better than that, but I guess going 110 kilometers an hour does reduce the efficiency of the vehicle. It's something to note when you're driving on the highway with these EVs, that they do drop. We did talk about that, didn't we, in the last video, about WLTP range. Just gotta be careful when you're on the highway. So we're just reaching Goulburn now, as we can see there on the screen with Waze, and we'll stop up a bit more, and we'll see you then. Okay, so we are at good old Goulburn, and we are at the Chargefox NRMA EV charger. I've got free charging with Chargefox. Thank you to our friends at Chargefox for that. We've got the 50 kilowatt charger here, working hard for us. 37% currently, and we are charging using this charger. Plugged in. There we go. We'll be here for a little while, so I might get some coffee. Let's have a look inside the car, and it's showing 40.8 kilowatts, 37%. So we probably won't stay too long because we want to just have enough charge to get into Canberra safely. We'll top up again when we have lunch. And yes, let's go do that. Have some coffee. Okay, so we've had our coffee, 75%. I think it's time to unplug so we can drive on to Canberra. Because 212 kilometers of range apparently, probably a bit less with highway driving of course. We only need about 100 kilometers to get to Canberra from here. And unfortunately the Goulburn site has seen better days. Look at all this rubbish on the ground. Just not good. People just not looking after this place. But it is what it is, and we will unplug. Okay, so let's press stop charging. Done. 30 minutes, 21 kilowatt hours. Enough time for a coffee break and toilet. So yeah, would have cost $9.85 otherwise. Thank you Chargefox for the free charging. Okay, unplug. Boom. Back in the cradle for the next user. Okay, so just a quick pit stop to another charger which is not yet commissioned, but I just wanted to check it out nonetheless because it is a Kempower unit and I've not seen one of these in person yet. So I don't think it's operational, but that's okay. It's located, apparently, according to PlugShare, at a fast food chain that we all know. And I can see it coming up now. So this is called KFC South, I think, Goulburn South. There's 2 KFCs in town, so don't go to the one in town. This is just very close to the highway. And yes, did somebody say KFC? Because here we are. I'm gonna go check it out. Drive in or drive through? Just drive in, just have a look. Should be on location. Let's see. I'm not in the mood for chicken today. Oh look, there we go. It's right there. Interesting. But it's usable. Oh, maybe it is. You know what? Since it's usable, I think it's worth having a look. I think. Who knows? We'll go check it out. Okay, so here we are at the Goulburn South KFC. Got the Kempower units here. Not operational yet. They haven't commissioned it. But we've got good signage, electric vehicle parking only while charging, both stalls. Floor's not painted yet though. That'll be coming. Obviously the KFC is just right there. And we've got the Kempower unit in the corner. And we've got signage here to teach you how to use it, I guess, eventually, once it's working. Pretty sure it's not working yet, otherwise it's going to be... Yep. And yeah, let's have a look at the actual unit itself and the cables. So both CCS2, there's 1, 2 CCS2. I've got to be honest with you, they're actually quite heavy. Actually heavier than I thought. Let's put that on back first. I mean, I know the cables are water cooled, but that's quite heavy. So you'd have to like drag it across to the car, of course. But what is nice is the design, and then you can pull this right across if you need to reach around right to all parts of the car. So that's quite cool. But yeah, just be aware that it can be quite heavy. And the unit is quite low profile as well. Stuff back in. So yeah, cool. Looking forward to trying it out one day when it's operational. Alright, so the question is, how good is the MG Pilot Autosteer? So I'm going to have my hands just here, just slightly off the wheel, alright? So I'm in control. I just wanted to show you, because I've currently got it on adaptive cruise control with the lane steering. See, just on the gentle curb, it's pretty good. And even on the straight. How much bouncing is there? That's the question. Because the ZS Evie had a bit of bouncing between the lane markers. But on the straight, it's not bad. Oh, please hold the steering wheel. Okay, it's a bit of a nag there. So one more test on this left bend, on this gentle curve, to see how it tolerates it. So, hands will be just slightly off again. Hold the steering wheel. You know what, that's not bad, you know. That's not bad. I know it's only a very gentle curve, but you know, you can potentially relax a bit more on the highway when you're driving. So yeah, good feature there. Hey everyone, Riz and I have arrived in Canberra. As you can see, here's Parliament House there right ahead of us. So yeah, pretty good there. We'll give you some stats halfway. I'll just grab the camera for it. So there we go. Yep, 19.3 kilowatt hours. That's the efficiency, and 299 kilometers, 1.5 hours. That included some charging, of course, and average speed of 66 kilometers an hour. So there you go. Obviously, you lose some efficiency on the highway. That is what it is for EVs. So the plan now is once we stop admiring the view there, we'll go and charge this car a bit more. It's currently 42%, 112 kilometers, so clearly not enough to get home. While we're topping up, we'll have some lunch and then we'll drive back and yeah, get back to Sydney and drop Riz off at the airport again. Alright, stay tuned, we'll start charging very soon. Alright, so we are here at Hotel Realm. Not staying here, I just know that the EV chargers are here. And these are hosted by Evie, E-V-I-E, EV chargers. So they should just be here, hopefully somewhere. Sorry. These bumps are quite high, so I'm going to slow down. There we go, I can see them there, and I think they're both available, so we are in luck. Right, so we are left side port, so we'll try and get this one here. Always interesting with the reversing camera. Forget how much you rely on a reversing camera. Gotta use my eyes today. It's okay, we'll survive. Can rely on the sensors. Okay. Use this car as a guide. Yep, I just felt a bump on the wheel. Cool, alright, we are here. Let's go top up. Alright, so Riz is going to help us out and plug in. So, I'll do the cap there.
Says yes.
Yes, thank you. Brilliant, okay. So successful, and let's see, let's tap our card. We've got the Evie card. It's the easiest way to start an EV charging. Please wait. Successful. Click, click. These are hosted by ActuAGL, ActuAGL. And we should see this graphic go up very shortly. Alright, so there we go. Got it at 40%, 30 kilowatts, 40, 45, 47, yeah, pretty much almost 50 kilowatts there. Alright, top up and then we'll go for lunch and come back and check. Okay, so let's have a look at the area. So we've got the painted signs in the ground, one spot there, another spot there. Got 2 units charging at 50 kilowatts max. Signs up there, electric vehicles accepted only while charging. Same with this side too. Electric vehicles accepted only while charging. To check whether we have to pay for parking as well, but I think we should be alright, but I'll double check. So there's no on-off button in the MG4, right? And in order to start the car, you literally just sit in the seat. Everything comes on. How good is that? So intuitive. Alright, so we're up to 94% state of charge, and it's telling me 251 kilometers left. Now, interestingly, when we first picked up the car, 100% was showing like 350 kilometers. So I guess it's actually adapted to our driving style over the last, 200 kilometers, that the efficiency was 200 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So therefore, it's actually adapted to your efficiency and giving you a better real-world range, which I'm actually pretty impressed by. Okay, so we've unplugged, and charge flap is closed. Let's head back to Sydney. Okay, so details of our charge session at Hotel Realm. $14.26, and it took 53 minutes, and 28.511 kilowatt hours delivered, and that was a good amount of time to have some lunch. Okay, so this will be a good test. Real world range of 252 kilometers apparently, and according to Waze, getting to Pheasants Nest is 219 kilometers. So it'll be a very interesting range test for today. Alright, so we are almost at Pheasants Nest Northbound. So we managed to drive all the way back from the EV charger in Canberra, and we've made it all the way without stopping once. And look, the efficiency has really improved over time. It's now 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. You remember that it was about 20 or very close to 20 on the way down. So clearly elevation has made a difference going back downhill towards Sydney, because the weather's the same, everything's pretty much the same except for the elevation. And here we are now at the Ampol Ampcharge Northbound. As you can see, Ampcharge is also the second thing on this big stand here, so very good, very happy that the signage is good. Now to see whether the setup is pretty much the same, eh? I'm curious. I think it is actually. You can see it already. And it looks like the service station looks pretty similar too. In terms of the niceness, the newness. Just cancel Waze there. Let's see whether we can find a spot. Yeah, let's use that one. It's closer to the entrance. Oh no, don't ice it, dude. Oh no, he's not icing it. Apologies. He's stopping in the spot behind. And that's right, cameras. Okay. Also, how about I keep looking at the camera? Quite a busy spot, isn't it? Because a lot of people. Glad it's quite a big centre now. Okay. Judge with my eyes. What's that about? Okay, that's cool. Alright, let's go top up, Riz. Alright, so Riz is going to unplug this plug here. Yep. And let's plug in. Cool. And we're plugged in there. Cool. And let's use the app to scan the QR code. Let's hope it's a smooth process. Oh, look at that. It's going to start automatically. That's intuitive. Oh well. All right, let's start charging from the app. Oh, it's a good sign. Click. I think we're good. Let's have a look at the screen. Yep, so 28% battery, hypercharging, indicator, all good signs. I think we are good to go. And from the screen there, 29%, 96 kilometers left, 15 kilowatts, ramping up, 29, 35, 43, 49, 54, 59, 62, 65, 67, 69, oh, this is exciting, 71, 71 Riz, 72, 73, it's still going, 74, this is the fastest we've seen it on our trip so far, 75, okay, so 75 kilowatts there, 70, yeah, okay. I think this car has, 76, I was just going to say, I think this car has a top charging rate of 88, 89 kilowatts. So whether we'll see that go up anywhere near that. Okay, 76.6. So it looks like it's sort of plateauing around that 76 to 77 kilowatt. Okay, so Ampol Ampcharge, this is the Hypercharger. And they are the specs down here. So there we go. 400 volts, 500 amps, 500 amp charging, 1000 volts CCS2, Chattermost 125 amps, 500 volts. They're the specs. Okay, so some stats there on the screen. CCS, battery state of charge, charging power 78.5. I guess a few kilowatts lost to heat. Energy charge, charging time. And very similar setup to the Southbound. Got the solar panels on top. That's covered. Got the same charging sign there, electric vehicle parking while charging. Solar panel, canopy. 3 stalls again, or 3 units. 1, 2, and 3. And then the 9 plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots around the place. You've got bucket, water, bin. Yeah, so here we are, northbound and southbound. Very similar setup. Okay, so I think 75% is probably enough to get back home by the airport. And see the charging speed too from the app and how much energy has been added. So pretty decent there. Okay, let's stop charging. So stop that. Okay. And it's just a simple matter of unplugging and putting it back in the cradle, like so. Again, heavy-ish cables, but easy enough with one hand for now. And just cap everything back. close the lid. And for those of you interested, these tyres, 215/50 R17 Continental, and they are the same back and front. I'll just double check for you. There you go, front and back. And just a quick look at the boot for you guys. It's not powered, it's just manual lift. And that is the size of the boot. So in the boot you can fit a charging cable there, a couple of bags. About the same size as the Cupra Born I reviewed earlier, 60/40 split. And you've got a spot here for a tyre repair kit as well. So no spare. Bit of lighting here, little parcel shelf divider thing, and then just a pull down. Alright, let's head off back to Sydney Airport to drop Riz off. And just want to say to everyone that this is a really comfortable truck stop, service station stop by the way. So if you're driving down on the Hume, this is definitely one I'd recommend. Good charging spot, good facilities, very clean, comfortable, brand new inside. So yeah, both southbound and northbound. Thank you, Ampol. And a couple of things I want to note too before we head back onto the highway is that the screen's been super stable, plugged in with the Apple CarPlay wired, like hasn't glitched at all. Been very reliable, been very happy with it. Secondly, the insulation's pretty good overall. Not too much road noise coming through. Riz and I've been pretty comfy in this car. And the third thing to note too is that you know, we did this trip 12 months ago in Polestar 2, and you know there weren't that many stops between Sydney and Canberra. We stopped at Goulburn. Everyone knows Goulburn, of course. We stopped also at Sutton's Forest. Back then it was still relatively new. There's only one plug working at the time. But now you've got a few choices now. You've got this, both north and southbound. You've got Murrayland, and that's where the BP is. So I merged. And you've also got, obviously, I said this right, Ampol, yep, northbound, southbound, Murrayland. And the one at Kempower at Goulburn South will be coming too, the other Chargefox. So yeah, plenty of options now, which is good to see, and more plugs as well, which is very important. Cool. All right, we'll head back into Sydney. All right, so a couple more things I want to show you guys too. So the way to activate cruise control, it's very easy. You just press that button there, the steering wheel button on the wheel. That's all it is. Boom. You match the speed you're going at, and then you can go up and down with these buttons here. Scroll up and down. See that? Flashes. To go up by 5 or down by 5, and then if you want to go down or up by 1, hold on to the button. Now just slowly scroll up and down. That's cool. The other thing I want to show you too is at the moment I can't quite get voice activation or voice control with the native infotainment screen, but if I plug in my Apple CarPlay like there, if I press the voice button, open Waze pops up, right? So I guess it's connected to Siri that way, but I don't know whether it's because it's the UK spec, can't quite get voice working for the native infotainment, but for Apple CarPlay I can. Okay, so we're just topping up here in Chatswood Chase for the last time, courtesy of Chargefox, giving us free charging, of course. Thank you very much, Chargefox. And it is currently 52% state of charge, 175 kilometers left of range. It's currently charging at 55.9 kilowatts. There we go. So yeah, we'll just head over and get some dinner, and then come back and head home after that. And there's been some comments around how dark the second row is because there's no lighting inside the second row, and you're right, it is actually quite dark because there's no interior cabin lighting for the second row. So that's just something to note here for the basic Excite variant for the MG4. Okay, look, I think 90% is probably enough. We'll top up the rest at home. And just final stats for the trip. So 8 hours and 38 minutes of driving. I think so. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Maybe it also included some of the time we spent in the car. Who knows? 603.1 kilometers to get from home to Canberra and then to Chatswood, which is pretty close to my home anyway. Average speed of 69 kilometers an hour for the whole journey, and 17.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers for the entire trip, which is actually not bad. It's actually You know, a little bit worse than the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, which I've shown before in our road trips to the Gold Coast, but better than the BYD Atto 3. That was around 195 to 200 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers on our Sydney to Melbourne and return trip. So yeah, final stats for our Sydney to Canberra and back to Sydney again road trip with Riz.